Well, Jasmyne Cannick is a social and political commentator, and I'm pleased to say she joins us now here in the studio. Jasmyne, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's start with these allegations against Russell Simmons, commonly referred to as a godfather of hip-hop, a music mogul. What has been the reaction, generally speaking, with, to lovers of hip-hop, from generally speaking people out there, to hear these allegations intensify or certainly multiply against Russell Simmons?
I think they're more multiplied by the media. I think in the community, the folks who grew up on hip-hop and love hip-hop, maybe even those who look up to Russell Simmons, I really haven't heard much. But I'm not surprised by that, because you have to think of the hip-hop culture, and you think of the lyrics, you think of the amount of violence against women that's talked about and what's accepted. So even when you read Russell Simmons' quote from the LA Times, it's like, well, what is his definition of violence towards women, right? Because, if being the godfather of hip-hop, if he doesn't think, calling, women bees or the H word is considered violence, then maybe some of his actions he doesn't consider were violent. But I haven't really seen the outrage, and I don't think we're going to see the outrage.
Why is it? I mean, I do want to read from something that you wrote and it's on your blog, JasmyneOnline.com. You wrote this piece, which I found really, really interesting, which basically talks about the dichotomy between between the way that people are responding to people like Harvey Weinstein and this kind of acceptance, if you will, of kind of misogyny and language that demeans women in the music industry. You said this: while it's no secret that the film industry has an undeniable problem with complicity when it comes to the sexual harassment and abuse of women, less talked about is the music industry's complicity and role in adding to the stories of Me Too.
Absolutely.
Why?
Because it sells. It makes a lot of people money. I mean, when you think about music, you think about all the different genres of music, there's only one genre that encourages violence against women, where it's acceptable, where it makes people millions and billions of dollars, and that's hip-hop. And we're not talking about that. When you think of people like R. Kelly, where's the outrage over that? But yet we're looking at people in the film and television industry, we're looking at people in the news media. I mean, just the mere allegations, shows are being canceled, folks are being
immediately, as opposed to like the R. Kelly situation that has gone on for how long?
For years. I mean, he married Aaliyah. Let's just start there, okay? And she was what, 15 years old. But again, hip-hop makes a lot of people money. I know there's a campaign right now for Sony to drop R. Kelly, and I'm all for that. But when it comes to people like Russell Simmons and other rappers, again, in hip-hop, folks are conditioned to accept that. Accept being called those. Women are told to accept that. I was speaking at a rally recently, and I told people, you can't be at this rally talking about Me Too and demanding your respect and jump in your car and throw on some a rap song that is degrading you. I mean, the two don't go together. But why isn't the focus on hip-hop? And as Americans, we have to figure out what our values are. I grew up on hip-hop, and I also grew up on rock. And at my age today, I kind of had to put hip-hop aside, because the hip-hop today, I can't really listen to. I can't.
I want to also read something else you wrote, because I think it's a great article that asks lots of important questions. You say, on the other hand, you have music industry executives, again talking about the dichotomy, you have music industry executives chomping at the bit to sign deals with rappers, even those awaiting trial on domestic violence, whose sexist and misogynistic-laden lyrics add to America's rape culture. Why? Because they know that even in this new wave of women's empowerment, they'll make 10 times the money spent in profits. Unlike white women, black women will either look the other way or, like in the case of R. Kelly, blame the victims. Explain that to me, because I need you to explain it.
Well, it's absolutely true in the case of R. Kelly. Look, let's be very frank here. R. Kelly is only where R. Kelly is at right now because of black women. We are the ones who buy his albums. We are the ones that go to sell out his concerts. If he didn't have the support of black women, he wouldn't be where he is. And when the whole debate was raging around, whether or not the women were telling the truth, there was a lot of blame the victim. Again, because we've been conditioned to look at things from that dichotomy in that way, And so when you have these rap artists, even those who are you know, in prison or in jail or getting ready to be charged with domestic violence, it's like, oh no, it's just art. It's just art.
And it's got a good beat.
Yeah, and it's got a good beat.
Exactly. You always hear that. It's got a good beat. Jasmyne Cannick, a conversation to continue.
Yes.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Great article.